Hi Aries, here's a general look at your solar chart for July 2013. Now this month there's a very interesting pattern taking shape in our skies. It's three planets coming into alignment with each other in a triangular shape, each on the point of the triangle, and in astrology this is known as a grand trine, and grand trines are very good. This one, all the planets are in water signs, so this is known as a watery grand trine, and that's very good too. And particularly good for you, Aries, because this watery grand trine, which holds great power, is sitting in all of your water houses. And this energy, this celestial wave emanating from this grand trine, this geometry in the skies, in the sensitive and emotional water signs, is going to help us all perhaps to discover more our compassion, to come more from the heart when we connect with each other, to tap into our deeper knowing, our deeper sensing, our deeper values, perhaps which go beyond this lifetime altogether, our more eternal values. And this can present itself to us in a scary kind of a way in the moment, but because it is a very supportive grand trine, we should let go with the flow, and allow ourselves to flow to where there will be the soothing, healing energy. On whatever level, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever level. And it's particularly good for you. It's sitting in your water houses, and so this watery grand trine over July and actually over August as well, particularly in the first part of August more than the second, it will help you to become more aware of subtle nuances, maybe more aware of your inner processing, what's going on within you, which maybe you're not so conscious of most of the time, or maybe what's going on inwardly for others with their feelings which you're not so conscious of, or maybe it's your deeper instincts that you become more conscious of. Your sensitivities will be more finely honed, and nuances of meaning that have eluded you previously perhaps will become more clear, and it's likely that you'll be appreciating your location and environment. Earth energies are very important for you at the moment, with so much emphasis going into the root of your chart, the very origins, really, the root stock of your chart over the month of July. And so therefore the earth energies, Mother Nature, will be very much feeding you and nurturing you, and of course she always is, but this is a time when you may be able to notice it more, and appreciating your origins, as in family, or maybe it's tribe, and your relationships, your personal relationships, but your relationship with yourself, where you are anchored inside. And also, maybe on another level, it could be around a property or a space inside or outside. So all round, this is a very good one for you. You've got Uranus in your sign. You're one of the cardinal signs, which is getting this sort of crackdown or evolutionary kick up the backside, should I say, coming from the planets, the great planets of change and evolution, Uranus and Pluto. You being one of the cardinal signs, you're feeling this very much so at this time, particularly for you earlier Arians, those of you born 31st of March to the 2nd of April, thereabouts, or with 11 to 13 degrees rising, going to feel the energy of Uranus, which is sort of catapulting you, or maybe dragging you, kicking and screaming, into the next stage of your consciousness. And it will be felt in various ways, that your outer image needs a makeover, that people are not seeing you in the way they used to anymore, that your sense of identity is changing, the role you play in the world is changing, but also you should be flexible and innovative in how you see things. So traditionally maybe you've been very set in your ways in certain areas, and now is the time to kind of unpick that stitching, really, because the universe is trying to show you a different way, a different pattern, a different design for your life, you see. And there's a lot of transitions going on for you Arians, and progress is likely to come sometimes in unexpected ways, but also quite surprising ways as well, because the higher levels, the higher, shall we say, more, maybe not higher, but more expanded awareness, expanded consciousness, almost like the angelic consciousness, if you want to look at it like that, or maybe your own higher consciousness is very much guiding you through this process. But we get so sort of tied up in the more earthly consciousness that we perhaps don't notice that this other more refined consciousness is trying to help. So it's very interesting for you, the month of July, Aries. There's a lot going on. There's challenges too, but there's some laughs along the way. There's some very nice energies also feeding into your chart in a more playful area, as well as this quite emotional, sensitive area, which is very well underpinned, very well supported at this time. So if you did have to make a decision, or you did have to take a leap of faith with the grand trine supporting you, and of course this is just your solar chart, but with the grand trine supporting you, I think there would be a sort of a safety net there for you. If you're being sensible about the thing, a sort of a safety net there for you. Now, the sun is also at the root of your chart. That's up until the 22nd, so that's lighting up the base of operations, property matters, what you're doing outside, what you're doing inside with the space, but also you pondering things more deeply, you mulling things over, you may be harking back to the past, maybe the past coming and ambushing you in the present. But also this connection to Mother Earth is very important. And then from the 22nd, the sun goes into a more playful, childlike, easier, spontaneous area there, more access to enjoying good times with others, romance for some of you, more creativity, those creative juices beginning to flow there, and there could be more socializing, but also you may be taking a risk in some way, you feeling as though you're taking a gamble on something. And perhaps for some of you more involvement with the entertainment or the leisure industry, and hobbies and pastimes in general, just things that make you feel good, really. So that can't be bad. Very much Mercury is very much at the root of your chart still, and has been there since late May, and that means that discussions could centre around the past, members of the family, history, a legacy even of some kind, or like a tradition of some kind. And whatever's going on, your feelings tend to be nearer the surface. It might be easier to push your buttons, or certain interchanges may stir up things, within you or within somebody around you, which kind of touches a nerve. And another way this can work is that your thinking gets a little bit snarled up with your emotions. So be aware of that. There could be a lot going on the home base, in the neighbourhood, chattering over the garden fence sort of thing. Mercury is retrograde until the 19th, so that may delay things, and there can be maybe crossed wires sometimes, or misunderstandings, or just things very slow, and you having to put your house in order in some ways, getting things ordered in the way you want them to be, organised in the way you want them to be. But Mercury goes direct after the 19th, and things should start speeding up and be, more seamless from there on in, as far as they ever can be. And Mercury is going to be there until August the 9th. Venus's position until the 23rd means that you can express yourself in this more creative, fun kind of a way. It's very good news for your personal life as well as your business, anything to do with business, because others will appreciate your efforts, your contribution, your style, your enthusiasm. Others will just enjoy your company more, and of course there will be a lot going on within you, because this is this important time with a lot of energies at the root of your chart, and also with the grand trine but still, there will be time to, or there will be spaces there to kind of just let go, and relax and go in for anything that you personally find empowering or satisfying. And your social connections could center around a place where you can be in this kind of mood, or and some kind of connection you have with others where you can be in this kind of more playful, fun orientated mood. And then from the 23rd, Venus moves into an area to do with maybe some health matters, or maybe just to do with daily chores, your work, your employment. That favorably highlights that area there. And somebody assisting you in either the work or the health or any of that sort of practical area can be very valuable to you, and you get on well with them, or at least not too badly. So anybody like health providers or service providers, co-workers, anyone just helping you out, or indeed you helping somebody out, and a romantic connection could occur in this kind of environment, whether it's health and exercise or whether it's working type environment. Mars is in your solar communication sector still. It's been there all through June, and will be there until the middle of July, meaning that social life can get a little bit demanding at times, and there can be more paperwork on your table, or correspondence, or need to connect with people, mixing, meeting, greeting, or perhaps flying hither and thither, but expressing yourself. And it's important to express yourself in speaking, writing, or other mediums of creative self-expression as well as you can, but you feeling like you want to get certain things off your chest, you want to speak out, you want to say. And also you could feel that others are being a bit aggressive towards you sometimes, a bit sort of brisk, maybe a bit too blunt, but you can take it. So it's just the Mars energy, it can be a bit feisty. And then Mars switches to the root of your chart, where there is so much activity, and then you can be busier in and around HQ, wherever that is. You might not be at home, you might be elsewhere, but this sort of hustle and bustle, this feeling of hustle and bustle that Mars brings in its wake, you putting physical effort into things outside, inside. Maybe you need more stamina for what's going on in the neighborhood or in a community or a locality, because there might be quite a lot going on, or it could not be like that. It might be that you're just at home or at a base of operations and you're doing a lot of work from home. And also it can be about property matters for some of you as well. Maybe, switching properties or looking at properties, or putting a property, on the market, or whatever it's about. It could be like that. But again, Mars here can mean that you just get pent-up energies, that it's easier to push your buttons, that there's a lot within you. I think the grand trine in water is really going to kick in here, though. So even though skeletons may be rattling in the closet, or, there's a lot going on in the neighborhood, a lot of chit-chat going on in the neighborhood, and maybe some of it kind of makes you wince a bit. Or even it can even be to do with the past, and you tying up loose ends from the past. I think the grand trine in water is really going to help you out here, and that you can trust that and to know that it's going to turn out okay. Now, this is also the month, or rather, last month was the month when Jupiter changed signs and comes into the root of your chart. And that is this very emotional, sensitive area connected to your roots, connected to your very foundations. And for 12 months, Jupiter is going to be here. Now, this is a good thing. And it's going to generate a sort of an uplifting effect, this new geometric pulse coming into the root of your chart. It could help you expand into new areas regarding your point on the map, your space that you live in, or family, or extended family, or tribe. and it should generally help to improve conditions. It's a long transit, and you'll feel it most when it comes near by degree your sun or other planets in your chart. And if you do feel it's time to move or make some kind of extension to your living, your domestic setup, then this would be a very good time to do it. And you Arians born between the 20th to the 30th of March, within 29 degrees rising or up to 9 degrees rising, are to feel this energy the most this month. It could even mean that you start to feel this kind of deep peace and settlement inside, for whether it's to do with external reasons or not. We often do react to what's going on externally, but it's just almost like an artesian well of serenity really can kind of bubble up from the inside with Jupiter there, and help it along, go in for practices which can allow this energy to flow even more. Saturn in Scorpio is in the house of what I call the house of the gear change, and you might come up against some kind of emotional barrier or worry or stress or fear. And you need to let some stuff go in order to clear the decks for the new green shoots to come in. So, it's a bit like, if we take the analogy of a gear change, you must remember to push down the clutch to clear the gear, so that you can take it out of the old gear and put it into the new gear. Otherwise, if you don't push down the clutch, whoops, sorry about that, you're going to crash the gears, and then it's kind of painful. So it could be, my analogy here is saying that you've got to let go of something, and maybe it's major or not. It can be a previous setup, a previous relationship, a previous setup with money or property, or your own bad habits. Or it can be, you shooting yourself in the foot. It can be your fears, okay? So you can be just a frame of mind, and so you alter your standpoint. That's you pushing down on the clutch and then clearing the old gears, and then the new one is engaged. So it can also be that a resource or a support system that you had relied on is not there anymore, or has changed in nature. And indeed, that can feel uncomfortable, not only physically, materially, but emotionally. But again, Saturn here means that, if that is the case, then, and you feel that as a lack, you will be transitioning out of that old setup and into a new setup slowly, because nothing happens quickly with Saturn over this Saturn transit, which comes out of there at the end of 2014. And of course, you'll feel it the most when it comes near your sun or one of your planets in your natal chart. So it's not going to be switched full on the whole time for you. And Saturn has been retrograding over a very small area of Scorpio for a while. And so you Arians born between the 24th and 26th, 27th of March, or with 4 to 6 degrees rising, have been feeling this energy the most, but it's due to move out of there from here on in, and or from next month. And that is actually all for July. That's quite a lot for July. An interesting month, a very supportive month. So allow those nurturing, feeding energies into your life to underpin your life. And if you want to know what the other planets are doing, I update it every month on my website, so go and have a look there and you'll find out about that. And if you know your moon sign or your rising sign, have a look at the forecast for those. It'll put another slant on what I've said here, and I'll see you the next time.